Okay, so as we are getting ready to get started, we'll invite you to take out your cell phone. And Allyson, you want to give the directions?
Sure.
This is not something I am as comfortable with as you are.
Good morning, everyone. We will be doing a quick poll to gather a little bit of information before we begin today's workshop. So if you take out your cell phone and you're going to text in the to field, you're going to put 22333. And in the message field, you're going to put Brian Ty 746. This is your gateway into the poll that we're going to complete today. So once you send that, you're ready. You may receive a message back saying that you've joined an active poll or something like that. Okay, we're ready. So the first question we want to pose to you all, we want to ask, what are your hopes for the workshop? Many of you have come here for perhaps similar reasons, but we want to kind of get to the specifics of what your hopes are for this particular eCert workshop. So if you could just text your answer to 37606. You don't have to text Brian Ty, just text your answer to 37606. So you can say, my hope is to gain a better understanding of online teaching. You would text that to 37606. Text Brian Ty to 37606. For my online people, 7. Sorry, I'm confusing 7 and 6. Text Brian Ty to 37606.
All right, yay.
We have some people coming through now.
Yay, that's me.
Was incorrect. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, that's how you're going to get in. The 22333 number was incorrect.
I got the first one
right.
right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Start texting your answer then. So some people say to become proficient. Some people are saying gain verification in this platform previously done in Blackboard. So we're talking about inside of Canvas, a new platform that we're going to be using. All right, let me try to text something in and see what's happening. Learn more about e-learning. Okay, let's go. I see someone else. To learn how to develop an online course. Garner basic information on using
Canvas.
Canvas, excellent.
That's what we're all here for.
Can that be hidden? Yeah, get to know the e-faculty at FAU. Oh, wonderful. Okay. That's definitely something you'll be able to do inside the workshop.
Yeah.
Become more proficient with e-learning and Canvas to offer more tools to students. Excellent. So you guys are definitely in the right place to do all of these things. Okay, so we have one more question. You won't have to get into any funky room. It's the same exact process, and now you'll just text your answer to this poll. What questions would you like addressed inside this group setting?
And that's here with you today at this point for this orientation setting. Not just the workshop. The first one was workshop. This is for the orientation.
Canvas migration. I think that will be a reoccurring thing throughout the workshop as we move from Blackboard to Canvas for sure.
Oh. And once you leave the orientation this morning, you can go right across the hall and get going with that too.
Tips for someone who's taught in Blackboard and going to Canvas. We're noticing a trend.
We are indeed. We are indeed.
But to expect IPA certification, best practices in online courses. All right, this is great. Excellent. Where do I go from here with courses in Canvas?
Hi, come on in. I'll let you go sign in and then take a seat. Thank you. Welcome. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so all of these questions will be addressed. If not today, we will address them absolutely in the 8-week workshop. So we're happy that you have these kinds of questions because you're definitely in the right place to get those answered.
And the fact that we now have them documented, we will get them answered for you.
Yeah. Cool.
So, you can stay put.
Yeah.
So this is our official welcome to the eCertification Orientation Workshop. And the certification is an 8-week. It's actually self-paced, designed to happen in an 8-week session, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later on as far as what you can expect coming down. But this is the orientation. We like to try to meet with everyone at the beginning just to give them a feel for things, particularly where this is a whole new experience for all of us. So this is fun and exciting. And I'm going to bring Julie up and let her welcome you. And
If you want to holler down the hall, so really he'll come in.
Will do.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Julie Golden. I'm the Associate Director of E-Learning and Professional Development here at the Center for E-Learning. We're psyched that you're here. Many of you I already know. Some of you have come to our new faculty orientation. Some of you are already involved in our program. Some of you have already done e-design. So this is going to be a great group. One of the really cool things about this group is that we do have all levels in the course, so that we have that sort of social learning, that tacit knowledge exchange amongst the faculty. And I think this is one of the only places where you're going to see an open group from all the different colleges. You know, if you're in the College of Nursing, you may not necessarily interface with the College of Engineering a lot, or the College of Education. So we like the idea that everybody can come together and share ideas across the college for that. Our director, Willie Freeman, is here. No, you. He's been involved with this Center for E-Learning since the very, very inception. So he's got a lot of history here with us.
How y'all doing this morning? It's not too early on a Monday, is it? Yes. I see a couple of faces that are like, if you had some coffee, you get a little more coffee. We want to thank y'all for coming to eCert. I'm excited about being all here. And basically, everything that you're going to experience over the next 8 to how many weeks you decide to take as you work through it will give you the experiences of what happens with your students dealing with it in a classroom. You get that I'm an online student experience, but also you'll get to see a lot of the processes that we put into what we do when we work with faculty to develop courses as well. There's going to be so much exciting stuff in it. It is a decent amount of work as well. If you have any challenges, I think you have one of the best service teams at the university at your disposal. Don't hesitate to ask as many questions as often as you need to. They are the most patient people I've actually encountered. They put up with me all the time. And they actually are tireless in how much they're willing to work with you to get through this process. And I think you're going to enjoy everything you encounter in here. We have cards over on the sign-in tables. If you have any questions where you need to reach me, don't hesitate. Dr. Hartman knows I'm here to back and call. Email, text, drop by, whatever you need. Any questions for me before I hand everything back over to Julie? No? Okay.
We also have some folks online too. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hello, people online. Good morning. I hope it's not too early for you as well. So I'm right at the end of the hall, the last office on the right. Anything you need, feel free to pop in. Have a great morning.
thank you, Willie.
So one of the neat things about this particular one, you are in the inaugural Canvas version of eCertification, which is great. Does everybody know that we're changing to Canvas from Blackboard? So you're going to get, there are some folks piloting it right now. John, are you piloting it? No?
I'm not piloting and we're doing the migration of the hands-on workshop. So
Yeah.
lots of questions.
Yeah. So you'll get to see the student side of Canvas before most of the students see it. There's I think 2,500 students right now taking courses in Canvas just as a pilot. So we're getting a lot of feedback from them. Actually, all positive so far. We had a meeting on Friday, and all of the faculty members who were teaching in Canvas kind of gave filled out a survey and gave the feedback from the students. There were a couple of things about testing that popped up, but other than that, they said it was very clean. They didn't get a lot of questions from students. I also teach in Canvas, and I have to say that, it's been very, very easy for my students to access the LMS. So I'm excited about that part of it. For you guys, I don't know if you've ever taught online before, it might be a bit of a change, like what John is experiencing, and I know Rosemary, you've taught in Blackboard before, and I know Cindy, you're in the pilot, yes? Cindy involved in the pilot?
I think she
Might be.
is.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, you're in the pilot, right?
Yes, I have 3 courses there.
Okay,
Oh,
how's it
my.
going for you?
I'm finding it, I love it. I'm finding it's very easy. I sat up and did some grading last night and was thrilled how fast it went.
Cool, great, thanks. So you're gonna be a great voice in this eCertification course for us too, for, because you have a double layer going on this time. You have sort of the pedagogical things, how to facilitate, how to design courses and why we design it very intentionally for our online students, which is different from what we do in our face-to-face classrooms, but also, looking at how this new LMS works and what your students are going to experience is what you're going to experience this time. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to turn it back over to Judy and Allyson, and you guys know that we have our other campuses joining us now too, right? We have 5 days a week up in Jupiter. We have an instructional designer on campus, and 5 days a week down in Davie. We have an office down there. We have recording facilities there, so you can go in and record your PowerPoints or do whatever you want there. And we have an instructional designer to help you with your courses. They are online right now, so you kind of meet them virtually today as well. But if you happen to be closer to one of those campuses, know that we have support up there too. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'll turn you back over to Dr. Summers.
So this is, has Willie been writing again? This is the objectives for what we want to accomplish today, and in just a little bit you'll see the objectives actually for the whole workshop. But we're going to have the opportunity to do a visual representation of how you see yourself as an online instructor. Thank you. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons of teaching online versus face-to-face. We're gonna think about something that we learned, a memory about learning. We're going to look at the components of this workshop, and in the workshop we're going to look at the structure of the course template, and we're going to do some discussions back and forth. So that's kind of where we are headed for today. So that said, just a quick overview. You want to talk about this one, Allyson?
Absolutely. So the eCert workshop, for those of you who may not be familiar, is comprised of 7 units with different milestones, and at each milestone you kind of earn the grade for that particular unit. Each milestone is associated with an activity where you're building inside of your own course. So you could be asked, in one of the units you're asked to develop a rubric, in another one of the units you're asked to work inside of groups. So it's really giving you the student side experience, and this will be particularly helpful to you as we're migrating to Canvas, because you'll be able to see what your students will see in the coming terms. You will also do usually a written reflection in all of the in all of the modules. We have to kind of make a paradigm shift, or at least vocabulary shift, because I'm so used to saying units, but inside of Canvas, they're all called modules. So there will be 7 modules with milestones. At the end of each module, there is going to be a written reflection, and usually some form of practical application. This course is very heavy in the pedagogy, so we're really big on the why, and the how is also a piece that we discuss, but there are a lot of different hows. So we really emphasize the why, and the how is something that we can kind of work towards. The time commitment. So a lot of faculty come in and they ask, how long should this take me? The entire course should take approximately 8 weeks, and that is a flexible schedule. This is on a flexible scheduling kind of framework. We suggest that you stick with that 8-week timeline, only because in past cycles of the eCert workshop, we've noticed that people who do not stick with the 8-week timeline tend to finish less. So we're asking that it be something that you kind of go along with. And there are a lot of benefits to sticking with the 8-week timeline. A lot of camaraderie and collegiality happens inside the workshop when you're working along with your colleagues. When you're kind of straggling off by yourself, we can kind of see why people fall off more often. 2 to 4 weeks, 2 to 4 hours a week is typically what you can expect from the workshop. There are some articles that I think will be beneficial to you inside of the workshop, and then with the work component, it usually should take approximately 2 to 4 weeks. So with that being said, there is a stipend associated with completing the workshop, and I'm gonna roll it over to Jill Rosen, who will discuss what that entails.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the most important part of the day because this is about money.
Oh, good, because it's about Jill.
No, nothing to do with me. It's all about money. We will be compensated for this because we know that this is taking time away from what your regular requirements are and your job. So after you complete each unit and you finish it, it kind of goes through our system and it goes to Julie for kind of final stamp of approval. And then she lets me know, and we go ahead and we just cut $500 onto your next paycheck. It's really hard. Sometimes people have a hard time. They're like, they get an extra $500. They have no idea. It doesn't necessarily define in Workday on your pay stub what it is. But if you have any questions, you should kind of know when you finish. Do you email them? Or so you'll know, and on whatever that next pay period is, typically that will come through to you. We have several other forms of compensation that come from this office that I just want to talk about real quickly. I know Dr. Harmon has been involved with us for a while, but after eCertification, if you choose to design an online course and you get the approval from your chair and ultimately your dean within your college, and you work closely one-on-one with one of our instructional designers, that's called a co-design. Upon completion of the co-design, we automatically pay you $2,000. Once it goes through an internal peer review process, $2,000 goes to you. As soon as the course is actually offered online through your college, we pay you whatever your current adjunct rate is within your college. It averages around $3,000, $4,000. College of Business is a little bit higher. College of Engineering is a little bit higher. I don't know. I have no idea where you guys are from. But, I mean, usually it comes out to anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 in additional compensation. But it's a time requirement. I mean, it's not just kind of like a gift. I mean, there's something to be said about the effort that you put into that whole process as well. We also have on top of that a program called Quality Matters. And once you have your online course, and I think this gang will get more into that, it's a third-party recognition that your course gets this stamp of approval, and it means something. It really does have added value. And then we not only pay for the process, which costs $1,000, but we compensate you an additional $1,000 as well. Because it's important to us. We want to know that the product that we're putting out there really is a good product, and some effort and time and thought has been put into that. Just so you understand like how we work our compensations, this whole department is not funded at all by the state. We are strictly funded by distance learning fees that are attached to each credit hour on a course. So people always come to me and they say, well, I'm ready for my stipend. I say, well, that's great, but if we don't have any revenue coming in off the course that you designed, we can't afford to pay out the stipend. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense of why we do it in the stages that we do it, in order to assure that there's that constant flow that comes in that we can, because as far as we're concerned, that goes right back to you guys. I mean, this is all about making the faculty better at what they do. Any questions? Did I explain that? Mm-hmm. Fantastic, I'm done. And I have an answer for you too.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Yay, okay.
So
Could I ask
this-
a question
Of
first?
course,
The balance between, I signed up to do this online,
correct.
so are you expecting face-to-face meetings?
This
So
is
this is
it.
a kickoff for.
This
then
is a
to be-
kickoff. It could be face-to-face, it could be online. The expectation is that during the workshop, you will connect with one of the facilitators, but that can be virtual, it can be online, it can be meet you at Starbucks, whatever. But yeah, it is definitely set up to be a fully online, and you take your own pace. That said, we release the modules on a specific basis, so that you've got time to work from one into the next one. And we've got a handout to share that with you. But this is the only time we ask you face to face. But we love to see your faces, pop in. So don't not come.
Yeah. a lot of people take advantage of the Fridays and come in and
Yes.
do the professional development live in here, but you can do it online as well. There's all kinds of, we tried to make it as flexible as possible. There was, as John knows, there was another version of this, a 1.0, a while back, 4 years ago, that was a little bit more restrictive in the programs that one had to do it in and all of that. And we kind of revamped that when our new assistant provost came in and made it as flexible as we possibly could so that everybody could do it and finish when they wanted. So if you don't finish this semester, that's all good. Next semester, we'll put you right back in the course. You'll start from wherever you stopped. If you did 3 modules, we'll put you in at module 4. So it's really at your pace because we know that you have a lot going on. You have research, you have other committees that you're on and whatnot. So we're trying to make this so that everyone is able to be successful in the course. So Judy talked about, you know, the faces that we have around here. It occurs to me that I didn't introduce anybody. I want to make sure that you guys know who we are here. You have access to what I think is the world's greatest professional development team.
It's the only one she has access to, so whatever.
No, they're really great. So Dr. Judy Summers has been with us. She started in eCertification or in Cell 1001, which was the 1.0 version of this, as a faculty member. And then she came and spent a lot of time with us, and we scooped her up, and now she works with us and helps run this course. So we're really grateful to have her. She teaches over at College of Ed as well. And then Allyson Hall, we scooped her out of College of Ed doc program. She's a doc student. She's almost done with her doctorate. And she worked with us on a little project that Dr. Hodgman worked on too. And she was so good at it that we had to keep her. So she's now one of our instructional designers here too. Brian Ty is our instructional technology specialist. He does, if you access anything online, Brian's on the other side of it. He's in there talking to the online people right now. He also does a million other things, graphics and all kinds of other stuff. And then back there in the corner is Michael Hewitt. He's our digital media specialist. So if you have recorded materials that you need, he is the guy that goes to that. He's been doing some stuff with green screen for faculty. And so we're really building out our capabilities for video and audio as well. Madison Baggett is here. She's an intern. She's working with Michael. And then Bajio Bukat is another intern. And then we have, not last but definitely not least, Gus Regis, who has been helping out really on both sides with Brian and Michael.
Well, he's clearly not last because we have Mary and Kathy also out there somewhere.
Out of sight, out of mind. Sorry, guys. Do you want to say a quick hello, Mary and Kathy?
Okay. Hello.
That was quick. That was good.
That's definitely not Kathy.
Yes, it is.
Kathy McPherson, the voice that you just hear there, she's up in Jupiter. She's our new instructional designer there. We can see her. This is Kathy. She's up in our Jupiter office. And she's one of our newer instructional designers. She's joining us from K-12 settings where she's working for Palm Beach County Schools before we scooped her up from here. And then down there, the next one is Mary Rotundo. Hi, Mary.
Hi, everyone. Great to see you and welcome to eCert.
Mary is manning our Davie office, and she's one of our newer ones too. Mary and Kathy kind of came around the same time. And then you can see we have a faculty member online too. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
How are you? So that's who we are. We want to know who you are. It occurs to us when we ask people to make this kind of shift from who you are in your classroom, in a face-to-face classroom, to who you're going to be in an online class, that sometimes we don't ask faculty where they are and, you know, kind of position you where you are and give you a chance to explore that before we make this change. So we have this little exercise that we want to do with you. It's called It's All About Me. It's really all about you. And this is where we're going to do kind of a quick exercise. The papers that they're putting up on the wall, it's kind of like what we did here. This is from a previous one that we did, but we're going to trace the outline of ourselves up against the same kind of primer and trace the outside of yourselves. And we're going to take some time to make a personal portrait of you. So you can do this in words, you can do it in pictures, you can color. We have crayons and colored pencils and all of that. But we're going to take about 4 or 5 minutes to let you kind of explore who you are and what your backgrounds are, what your identities are, who you identify with, what are the things that you do, and who have you been in the past? So just kind of, give us a thumbnail of who you are and be as creative as you like.
In order to
No, and one.
So now we want to move on to the next piece of this, which is your professional you.
Yes.
absolutely, always.
What is it? Yeah, we just have it set up.
Even here for half an hour.
We have its own system.
Oh, you've taken the words of.
And then what we want to add to your personal portraits is how do you think of yourself as an academic? I see that a lot of you actually identified initially on the Who Am I as academics, which is interesting to me. It doesn't usually happen that way. But we want to kind of layer on top of the who are you, what your background is, who are you as a person, with who are you as an academic. So how do your students perceive you in the classroom? That's one of the big questions we want to. What are your research interests and how do those play into what you do in your classroom teaching? What are your strengths? Where are you going to make space? This is the important question for online teaching now. So think about all of the things that you do in your face-to-face classrooms and how your students interact with you, and then write a little bit about how you think that's going to go into your online classroom. We can talk about that. Right.
Oh, I get it. That was a timer. Woo, all right,
I
really.
wanted it to be like not a jarring timer. I wanted there was like this giant gong and everyone was doing that. So now what I'd like to do is kind of go around the room and let you all give us a little thumbnail, like a 45-second thumbnail of what you put up there. So if Rosemary, you want to start?
Or maybe we could start with the ones online and then come to the ones in the room. How would that be?
So Vicky, you're on.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Let me get to my little figure. I am Vicky Rosenthal. I'm presently an adjunct looking to advance as an educator, and I feel online is definitely the wave of the future and will advance FAU by the online courses and degrees. My background is social work on the macro level, not clinical. So my experience is in community building, human rights advancement through social services, legislation, and academic teaching. Students perceive me generally passionate about what I teach. And my research interest is academic service learning combined with research for undergraduate research and inquiry components. And presently we're working with refugee service organizations, so they have online learning working with refugee families, and then combine that with research components. My strength is combining real life with learning so that they have something to really attach it to. And my online identity is that I have online courses that I teach, as well as I use my lecture courses with a lot of online components where I'm posting the assignments and quizzes.
Awesome,
Great.
thank you. What a great use of the online components.
Absolutely, yeah.
For your specific thing. So let's jump down to Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Great.
Yeah, so I'm really happy to be here. I'm a mother of two great young adults. My oldest has his 21st birthday today, so that's
Wow.
and my daughter starts her very first day of college today, so that's exciting too. And my experience with high school was primarily with ELLs, and so I'm really passionate about helping them and other non-traditional quote-unquote learners. Anybody who really wants it, I'm really excited about helping them get what they want, My personal faith is really important, so I'm all about servanthood and helping other people where I can. I work in children's church every Sunday, designing those lessons for them, and that's like PowerPoint and online and Google Drive and everything. And I'm an auditory learner, so I talk a lot, but I do also listen.
Thank you, Kathy. Let's hear from Mary. Is she next? Mary, aw, for kids.
All right, so hi everyone. My name is Meredith Rosenthal. I am originally from Venezuela. I've been in the States for about 14 years. I have two beautiful children in the picture with me where my heart is. And my daughter, almost 21, my son, 19, both in college. And next to that, there's the word educator. And these are the two things really close to my heart. I cannot separate myself personally from being an educator because that's who I am. I also love reading, and I'm back in school after a few years. Excited about that. And I love yoga. And in terms of my teaching, how my students perceive me, I think as a very committed and passionate teacher, always trying new things and experimenting. In terms of my research, I did comparative learning when I was teaching in Universidad Metropolitana back in Venezuela. And then I started working with languages online. And then that took me to my master's in online education. So combined teaching experience of 20 years, which always has a great effect on my students. When I tell them, I've been teaching longer than you have been around. So that's when they kind of take me seriously. Now, my job at the Center for E-Learning fascinates me. And in particular, working closely and building synergy with faculty and seeing ourselves as providers of service and being here for faculty and also building courses, which is fun and exciting. So that's me.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's start on this side. Do you want to start?
Oh, sure.
Rosemary over there.
Okay, well, I started my life in New York, and then I went to the Hexagon, which is what we call France because of the number of sides that it has. I went there because I really wanted to go and learn French and speak like a French person, which is kind of who I am now, I think, and who I've always been. I worked in the business world in France and then came here in 1990, had a son. There he is, right there. He's in medical school, actually, currently. So I am an empty nester, which is kind of cool, actually. It's sort of disorienting at first. But in anticipation of being an empty nester, I came back to school to FAU, finished my bachelor's. I had started 30 years prior, did my master's here. And now I'm just thrilled, more than thrilled, to be teaching here. This is my 4th year. And I'll be working specifically on the fully online French minor here at FAU. And with a commercial French option as well, with a commercial certificate that students will be able to complete. I'm certified by the French government to give this exam. So French is really what came up first. My teaching is what came up first because that's really what I'm so about right now. Not that I don't love my son, but it's sort of my turn to do that now. And my teacher presence, I've already taught online, developed a course online. And the teacher presence, I think, comes a lot from being very active. And because I'm teaching a foreign language, the disadvantages, we're not together. The advantages, there's so much out there that I can share with them, even on a daily basis, different things that come up, videos, I can send songs that are relative. And then thanks to the help of this great team, doing some videos, and I hope to do more videos, and that was really a blast. And in this particular type of course, the video, I think, is really important to create the teacher presence as well. And so I think my students perceive me as passionate because they always tell me that, so passionate about what I do. So that about sums it up.
Thank you.
Yes.
John, you want to?
Sure. So I divided sort of head and heart and hands. I'm in education leadership in the College of Education. I came here to do my PhD from South America, international school principal, teacher for many years. And my research is in sustainability and leadership, and some of that is integrated in my work. And we actually have now just developed a master's degree, which is fully online in adult and community education for sustainability, which will be launched next spring. We're meeting on Thursday, actually, all the marketing was the e-learning. In terms of where I'm online, well, I do present myself not very well in my introduction online, so I think that's something I want to work on. And then I do with my students is through the discussion board feedback, because most of my teaching is online. Though last Saturday we finished the first multi-site classroom teaching from here and in Jupiter and Davie using Skype for Business. So that was another experience about a mixed real-time face-to-face, but using technology, and we're piloting that. So that was a very exciting new experiment that we need more work on. In terms of feeling, well, I love family. I love teaching and learning. I'm very passionate about that. That's why I got out of leadership to get back into the classroom at this level. I love music, tennis, and then in terms of how do students see me, I believe I'm open and flexible, at the same time try to be rigorous in terms of getting them to really step up and make something of themselves. So my vision, if you will, is actually to help other people become themselves rather than tell them what they need to do. So it's more a transformational approach to education rather than you need to get the degree and this is the way you do it. That's why I hate online quizzes, tests, and examinations. Everything's done through assignment and real world application. And so I'll fight to the death against multiple choice questions or quizzes or anything, except just for a checking purpose, setting off the grading. So that's a bit of a
Great. So the assessments module is going to be awesome with John's voice in there. That's great.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I think it's something we struggle with in online work as well.
Yeah.
Getting into the connection and community and collaboration across these platforms. And so that's a challenge for me, definitely.
And John, there's only one quiz in the workshop, and that's the start here.
That's all right. As long as you give me multiple attempts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
I would meet you when you snuck in there.
Sure, yeah. I'm Jake.
hi, Jake.
This was a weird thing to do, just walking into the room, but didn't really understand the instructions. But me as an individual, I am a South Floridian, born here, went to school here, now teaching here. I've been teaching here at FAU on and off since 2009. Taught at a couple other community colleges around Florida. My wife is German, and so we go to Germany in the summers. It's probably like the most middle-class thing I've ever been able to say. But it's cheap when you don't have to rent anything. But that's very nice. Hopefully, I would like to start teaching there as well in the summers. My background is I have an MFA in creative writing, but I teach a wide variety of writing classes from the intro level, the ENC 1101s, 1102s, throughout the literatures, professional writing, as well as creative writing. And so moving that into an online situation has been, we have a lot of questions about that in the Arts and Letters College, and then particularly in the English department, because what we generally teach are process classes. And so curious how to set up a process-driven, online, community-oriented writing workshop approach. So that's what I'll be attempting to construct.
Awesome. This is a great place to sort of brainstorm that out. It's going to be a good group. I like that. Who was the next one? Is that you, Meredith? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Meredith. I actually have just moved here. I'm a new faculty member at FAU, moved from New York, from upstate New York. I'm an anthropologist. Sort of about me, I'm a longtime teacher. I've been teaching for my age, I guess, for 11 years now, but this is my first full-time position. It's been a long time as an adjunct. So my husband and I just moved down here to start at FAU. I'm getting used to South Florida, and back home everyone's wearing hats and gloves already, and I'm still sweating to death every day, so I'm getting used to that. In terms of my teaching and research, I'm an anthropologist and a bioarchaeologist. I study skeletons from archaeological sites, do a lot with history, do a lot with culture, politics, religion, sort of all sorts of social sciences mixed together. I've also, in my past, though, taught in English and composition and writing I've been a fitness instructor, swim teacher. I've taught all kinds of things over my lifetime. For online, I've never taught online at all. I've used Blackboard and Canvas and other learning systems for the grade book and sharing Word documents and things like that. But otherwise, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never even seen an online class, honestly. So I'm taking this because it's my first semester. It seems like a good time to get started. The department is interested in me developing some courses, so I figured might as well jump in now before I get completely overwhelmed by committees and all the other stuff that comes with permanent academic life.
Excellent. You're the pioneer in your department.
Good start. Good start. Thank you. Yeah, that's mine. I'm Nadine Phillips, and I'm a nurse, of course. Y'all know I have my scrubs on because I go to work after this. But how do I see myself as I'm very patient, as a caregiver, nurse, mother, very compassionate. When you brought up the question about what are the parts that makes me up, sense of self as an educator. I'm a mentor. I taught in high school for about, 9 years, and I've been teaching I've been teaching for over 18 years. And colleges, community college, adjunct. This is my first full-time, well, no, I was full-time in the high school, but this is my first full-time in the university, and I absolutely love it. Do I teach online? No. Do I want to teach online? Yes. And the purpose of me taking this class, that is my goal, to teach online. So I wanted to see it. I have a difficult time with Blackboard, and not that I don't like it, but it's not the best. So I want to see what Canvas has to offer. So this is an opportunity for me to jump right in, learn, and then if I start to teach, I'll know it. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Nadine.
So thank you. Okay, my name is Patricia Garcia. I am at the school of social work, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm a mother of a middle schooler, and I'm also from Brazil, and last year I became a soccer mom. And I just caught myself yelling, screaming with the other mom. So I never thought I would be in the level, but I am. So let's see what else. I love to travel. I also love meditation, like need that quiet time once in a while. I try to be very helpful, dynamic. I like good sense of humor, laughter, but I'm very intentional, determined, and according to a test for Facebook, which is serious stuff, I just found out I'm a workaholic too. So, and I always try to avoid online classes. I really love the interaction in class. I like to, connect with people. So I really hope that during this online class, I can find that component. I think that's my biggest concern, how to connect with the students through an online class.
I'm so excited about this group. I think that we're going to learn a lot too. Every time we do one of these and we listen to the challenges, the instructional challenges that come to the class, we learn too. We learn about how, you are solving your problems. You all learn from each other. So to us, this is a community of practice, and we all are in it together. So we have, this body, this toolbox that we have for online learning. And every time we have new faculty come in, we add tools to that box. So I'm excited to see where this all goes. Thank you for doing that identity, sharing your identities with us.
We have one more.
Sorry.
Bloom.
Cindy,
yeah.
Hi, I didn't quite figure out how to get my little Google picture up there, but I do have notes to read from. I have 3 adult children. I live in Jupiter, but I'm out of the Boca campus, so I do a lot from home, and so therefore online learning is particularly nice for me. I have taught in eCollege, Blackboard, the changes in Blackboard, and now Canvas. So sometimes a little frustrated. I told Crystal that I asked her how long I heard it's a 5-year contract for Canvas. I can plan my retirement now. I like Canvas very much. I don't enjoy these changes though. But right now, like I said, where I'm at with Canvas is a really good place. My research has been primarily in nursing education, looking at simulation. I've done some work with podcasts, but I am making a shift right now toward away from the education side of research into more looking at divorced women and the challenges that they go through. I have had an online presence for like many years now, teaching both on a beginning undergraduate course, but then I also do hybrid with a couple of graduate courses in nursing education. So that's kind of nice because they kind of play with it with me along the way, and I usually have education students working with me online. Not this semester. I decided it was not a good time with me just learning Canvas first. You know, one of my goals is to ultimately get the Quality Matters designation in my course. It's something I hadn't pursued before, but I think it's time. So I thought that to be in Canvas as a student this time would help me, you know, with that piece of it. And as far as how students see me, I've generally gotten very positive reviews from students, but at the same time, they're kind of stuck because I'm usually the only one teaching this course online and it's required. So I don't know, maybe they're saying nice things because they think they have to. But anyway, that's about all about myself.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you for jumping right in there. We appreciate that.
Cindy was Nadine's teacher.
Yes, she was.
Oh, how neat is that? How neat is that? That's great. So coming around full circle. And we do appreciate the fact that you have Quality Matters as an ultimate goal. So that's a good one. Great, so thank you. Anybody, any other comments as far as who we are?
Oh.
John?
No, it was about, just had a question about Quality Matters.
Okay.
Since I have my Quality Matters in Blackboard, will that transfer to Canvas or do you have to go through it again?
No, it will. It will. As long as you don't change your objectives and the structure of your course and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Jake, you want to consider
oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. But the table, we don't make you sit in the corner because you came in late.
That's okay.
Okay, and so now I'm going to ask you to think back. For some of us, it's a longer think back than for others of you. But think back to a first memory you have of learning something, a learning experience. Think back to what that was, and then we'll see about doing some sharing again. John, go ahead.
Kindergarten.
Okay.
I was about 5 and we were working on some fable and I did a lot of writing on that. And I realized I loved writing.
Nice, nice. So you started that part of it early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something that was very well received.
And a positive experience, I can tell by the way you're expressing it. Yeah, great, thank you. Anybody else? Who else would like to jump in for us? Gus?
My first learning experience, I'm first generation American, so my parents were, for lack of a better word, fresh off the boat from Greece. And I remember my kindergarten because my first language is actually Greek with my mother. So I went to kindergarten, of course they were teaching English. And I remember having some of the difficulties of the course because the instructor would speak to me in English and I'd answer her in Greek. So, but that was, it was a very interesting transition, being first generation American and kind of learning English as my second language, which now I consider sort of be my first language now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just kind of trials and tribulations of a young person.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Early learning experience.
Mine starts, well, as far as school would be with kindergarten too. Back in my day, we didn't have preschool and things like that. But what I remember about it most really is just I really loved being in school. Except being away from my mother, I do remember the first day crying, you know, kind of in her skirt there when she was leaving me. But Other than that, I always remember loving learning, and I always did. And I think when you love teaching, loving teaching and learning definitely go together. So that hasn't really changed.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Yeah. Who else? Anybody else want to share?
Maybe a less positive thing, but I was sort of highly dyslexic as a child, and I was being taught how to look both ways before crossing the street, and I kept doing it in the wrong order, right? I would look, and the information was just given to me again and again, and it made no sense. I did not understand.
And who would ever think that it would make a difference which way you look first? That's great. I love that.
Dr. Joe.
Okay. Go ahead.
My earliest experience was when I was around 4.5, and my parents were both Swedish immigrants, and we returned to Sweden, and I got there and didn't speak the language. So I remember explicitly practicing the language like I was a baby babbling again, practicing the sounds over and over. And then I share the experience of the previous gentleman that spoke about going to school and having to play catch up since my brain had been learning 2 languages, English, had to relearn English because I forgot that completely. That's my earliest learning experience.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that. And it's interesting that, that languages is tied in with almost all of our early learning experiences. Anybody else? Anybody else online? Okay, so this is an opportunity for us to think about the impact that those learning experiences have on us. To think about the fact that with the exception of yours, it was almost always a positive experience. And with yours, I would assume that the negativity was from your own perspective. I would hope that nobody really got on your case for looking.
Well, I mean, how long does it take you to start shouting at a child? You're like, no, this.
Okay, and when I do something similar to this in the classes that I teach, in most cases it is a positive experience, but those negative ones also have just as strong an impact. So think about that as we're working with our students and moving into, we are now in the process of experiencing another learning experience, both with ourselves and then passing that information on to our students. Allyson, I think this is. Can you have the sticky paper? I did not get them out, but I can. Yeah, we can just talk about it.
Okay, you guys. So now we're just going to do a very quick kind of, we can call it a crowdsourcing activity, where we're going to talk about some of the challenges and apprehensions that we have in kind of approaching this new. Some of you are new to online, some of you have been doing it for quite some time. So if you can take a moment to just think for just a few moments about some of the challenges that you kind of foresee in migrating to Canvas, or in beginning the eCertification workshop, in teaching an online class if you haven't already. What are some of those apprehensions? Usually we have little sticky paper, but we can kind of just crowdsource these, and I can jot them down on the floor. So anybody, you guys can kind of just shout it out.
I can tell you the big one for me is sort of teaching for me is all about interacting with the students, and I've really cultivated a skill in lecturing and asking questions and leading discussion, and that personality and the idea of not having that, your students are learning when you make them laugh. How do you know if they're laughing behind the computer screen?
Right. That exchange and kind of the intimacy of the classroom, how does it resonate in an online class? Others?
It ultimately will be failing the students in the level of instruction that they receive.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
In order to satisfy like a mandate that we have to teach online, that we put courses online that really don't work there.
Absolutely.
Or
finding ways to make them work.
Finding ways to make them work. Thank you. Thank
Less
you.
cynical.
Little reframing there,
That's nice.
yeah.
Sometimes it takes several iterations of the same activity for you to find your groove.
But
And
there
just
is
like in
ways.
the classroom, you kind of hit in this, and then you figure out the way that it works. We've done that in eCert.
I'm working on this, how to get students to engage with each other online and not have it, just a professor, student, because you lose the interaction between students, and that's a real challenge.
Absolutely.
Meaningful activities online that engage students with each other rather than I'm in my pajamas and having my whiskey or whatever, and I couldn't care less about anybody else. How do you get them to want to interact with each other?
Excellent.
And importantly enough, as an instructor, how do you engage your students? If you're used to the face-to-face environment, you have to find creative ways to engage online as well. Correct?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then I think to add on to what you both just said is and what you said too, it's like you put it out there, and sometimes even in the classroom, you put things out there and their eyes are open, but you don't know if they're really awake or not. But you still, once in a while, you want to get that feeling like somebody had reached somebody. So to sort of find more creative ways to know that maybe those extra things that you put out there, whatever, it actually reached somebody and got somebody enthused.
I would say to my students, do you understand? If you do, nod your heads. Like, how do you get the head nod?
How do you do that
The
online, right?
computers.
The head nod. Okay. Others.
We have a learning curve and time involved to learn a new system.
Oh, yeah.
And Mary said, for me, because I taught languages, it's the communication. Kathy said, having time to provide meaningful feedback for each learner, especially the large courses.
That's good.
Yeah, the question about the learning curve in a new system, this 8-week course might wind up being a little longer than that because of our learning curve here. We'll make it work for you though.
I'm looking at the syllabus here. We're actually going to be doing this in Blackboard, not in Canvas, this course.
No, we're going to do it in Canvas.
Oh, okay.
It's
So the syllabus
perhaps,
is-
it's old,
By the time you leave here today, you'll see your Canvas course pop up.
Absolutely, yeah, that would really not be a good idea. Others? Apprehensions? Hitting what we're saying?
Just navigating through it for me.
So navigating Canvas, navigating the kind of the online instructional process. Okay.
Okay.
I can see why you have trepidation as a nurse. I feel like there's like a lot of touching that should happen.
Yeah.
Interactions.
Vicky
Anybody else?
Vicky was saying, where's the syllabus?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that a question?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Who said that?
Vicky Rosenthal.
Okay, by the time we finish today, you will find that and lots of other fun and exciting things.
Your inbox?
In the course itself, right? Yeah, in the course.
On Canvas.
Yes, on Canvas in the course.
Yeah, we'll show you in just a few minutes how to get there and then you have to accept the invitation we've extended for you. Jake, what's your last name? Henson. Okay, I've got that. You're in it.
Okay, so in regards to some of the apprehensions, I can't say that we will address all of these. Some of these things you will answer on your own as you're working through your class. But as far as navigation and interactivity, failing your students insofar as not being maybe prepared enough or adept enough in the learning management system, we will absolutely offer possible solutions or workarounds or accommodations for how you can kind of ensure that you are prepared on the first day. Much of what happens inside of eCert is a lot of the pedagogy, a lot of the information on what research has been done, what students, and you have to remember, I guess we all do, that this is really kind of something that continues to emerge and the ball gets bigger as it rolls on. There's more and more research that happens daily. So as that happens, we try to kind of update the eCert workshop with more research on, for example, like group size or increasing interactivity in an online class. These are all things, we're really testing these things out together in a way. The field is still emerging. So a lot of these questions resonate across colleges and campuses across the United States. So these same questions are the questions that are being answered right now in the research. But we can say that we're offering inside the eCert workshop a lot of tips that are going to help you to skip the step, step 1 and maybe get to step 2 or 3 without having to start at the very bottom.
And the really beautiful part about this whole process, this is about our 5th or 6th time through this, is your ideas and your interchanges back and forth. And yes, you actually do engage with each other throughout this whole workshop. Those things really bring so much back and forth to you. You get so much more out of it because what someone has an idea, someone has a question, someone else has an idea. Hey, maybe this will work, or I tried that, and it really is a beautiful counterbalance back and forth. So I promise you'll enjoy that part.
I really think that's what Judy said is the benefit of sticking with the 8-week track, even though it's a very flexible schedule because, again, we have part-time faculty, we have full-time faculty, you guys have different obligations, but sticking with the 8-week track is really a good idea so that the kind of that interchange of information and, well, I do this, I've seen kind of magic happen in the discussion board where someone will share a practice that they do and someone will say, well, I tried this and it doesn't work this way, how about trying to do it this way? And you guys kind of answer your own questions. And it's a really, really, really a good dialogue that happens back and forth in the discussion. So I would encourage you guys to kind of, if you could, stick with the 8-week thing. But if not, it'll still be there for you to go back and review. But perhaps your question wouldn't get answered in the same way as it would. All right?
Plus, if you're not able to complete in this session, we offer this each semester. So if you're not able to, and you want that interaction, which is really a key component in this, that we will put you in the next one. And as Julie or Willie once said, you just pick up where you left off in this one and keep on moving forward. And know that while there's 6 here and 2 or 3 online, there's actually quite a few more that are registered in this course. So you have a lot of interaction in there. Cool. So here's the opening page for it. We're going to be talking about what's in the workshop, and like I said, in just a few minutes, I will click the button and open it up for you, and so that you can play around with it at whenever you have the opportunity. But this is the welcome, the opening pages of it, and then let me just go with what all's in the. You're welcome to stay. Okay. Then take a part of it. And again, here I didn't change this one. See, it's that transition from units to modules. Yeah. Anytime you see the word unit, think module. So this is going to give you an overview, and we also have this as a handout for you, an overview of the what's in each unit and where you're going to what you will manage to accomplish within the unit. So, Lila, you want to?
Yes, definitely. So as we talked about a little bit earlier, every unit has a either a reflection piece or a practical application piece, or both. So in the first module, I'll just say module just so that language kind of gets inside of our heads. We're going to be asked to create a journal reflection, and it's really kind of going to be similar to the academic identity piece that we just did at the very abridged version. In the unit 1, we'll be asked kind of to elaborate a little bit more on who we are as academics and where we see ourselves as far as an online academic, as an e-faculty, as someone said earlier. Unit 2, we will do an assessment plan, which is basically when we do what's called our e-design, which is a one-to-one partnership with a faculty member and an instructional designer, we sit down and we talk about all of the assessments that we'll complete inside of the class. And the reason we start with the assessments in mind is because of the principles of backwards design, where we begin with the end in mind. So if we know where we're going, it's easier to get there if we have our assessments laid out. So we'll start with the assessment plan inside of Unit 2, and then we'll lay out everything that we plan to do inside of the class, all of the discussions, all of the assignments. It doesn't have to be in great depth. And this will be an abridged version as well, because we're just kind of getting you familiar with the process of designing an online class. But the assessment plan will help you to lay out kind of your end game, and then we'll start going backwards from there. Of course, there'll be a discussion in most of the units. There is going to be some type of discussion component or some type of interactivity. We try to kind of hit 3 points of interactivity. It's the student to student, and in this case, you guys would be considered students, even though you guys are faculty. So the student to student engagement, the student to the content, and the student to the instructor or the facilitators, which would be us. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all kind of different formula for how to kind of complete what we need. We're going to talk about designing a blueprint, which is Dr. Summers' specialty. It's really laying out objectives that will pair up with your assessments. And we want to make sure that you are thinking about, that we're all thinking about the reason we're offering such assessments. So if we're asking a student to explain something and we have a multiple choice quiz, perhaps we haven't paired the objective and the assessment together appropriately, because we're not quite sure how you explain something in a multiple choice quiz, right? So we're just going to be looking at the pairing of your assessments and what you plan to do, and see if the two ends are meeting. That's going to take 2 weeks, as it's a little bit more of a lengthy process, but we will help to guide you through that if the literature online is not enough.
And that's one of the places where we definitely ask you to reach out to one of the facilitators and either sit face-to-face or virtually, or whatever, like I said earlier, whatever works best for you, so that we can sit down and work you through that process. Because that's once you get that piece done, the rest of it is fine. So once the blueprint is set and you've met with the facilitator and we've gotten those milestones out of the way, then we will set up what we refer to as a sandbox course or a DEV developmental course for you, because then the rest of the modules have pieces that you will build in that DEV course or that sandbox course, so that you can see what it feels like then from the instructor perspective.
So then inside of Unit 4, we get to, it seems like this is the dreaded group work. Everybody's always like, oh no, it's group work. But this time, hopefully it will be a good experience with all of the faculty. And this is another reason why we definitely suggest staying on that 8-week course. Although, of course, life happens and sometimes you can't. But at Unit 4, you will work with 1 or 2 other members of the faculty to complete an assignment. And I think this is a really, really great opportunity to take the perspective of your students and see what they're experiencing inside of Canvas, especially it being a new learning management system, especially it being perhaps a new activity that you maybe don't adopt. Perhaps you do, but perhaps you don't. But it will be a learning curve for sure, because you haven't done group work in Canvas, to my knowledge. Perhaps you have, but so this is where you'll complete your group work, and we have everything kind of laid out for you. You want to go?
Mm-hmm. And I have the handout that has all of this information on it. I just sent the link to it to Brian, so those of you online also have it, and it's in it's in the Canvas workshop, so you have access to that in many places. So then after the group work, then we actually will have the opportunity to think about that teacher presence. I know Rosemary mentioned having fun creating the videos for her class, and that's one of the activities that you will do within this unit, is create just a really short video, and we give you all the information on how to do that without it being an expensive or a daunting project for you. And then we talk about active learning. Several of you have mentioned concerns over student engagement, and active learning is actually the key that will unlock that whole student engagement piece for you. So we have that section on active learning, and then we wrap it up with the creating a rubric and building a rubric in Canvas and linking it to an actual assignment in your DEV course, and then have a conversation we're not asking you necessarily to develop a whole syllabus, but having a conversation about the differences, what needs to be in a syllabus for an online course in order to assure your student success, so that we don't have students lost along the way. And so that's our seven units in there. And then we also offer professional development. And we do professional development sessions every Friday in here. And as members, as participants in this workshop, we ask that you attend at least 4 of them. They are available, as this has been, face-to-face. We actually stand in here and we will talk to you, but it's also available virtually. And we send those links out each week along with the compelling, right, Mary, a compelling blurb and intriguing opportunity for you to join us in the development session. And, but you can join us on any of the 3 campuses and or virtually. So completing 4 of our professional development sessions is also will accomplish one of the milestones for you. So yes.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Are you having them on Mondays too, or they're no longer on Mondays?
Well, our Monday ones have been with a focus toward getting more comfortable in Canvas. So our Monday ones are really a Canvas workshop with a theme. Okay. But yes, we are doing the Monday. I think the one.
You have one today, don't you? So one today.
Yes.
What time?
Fridays at noon, is that what it is?
12:15 to 1:15.
Yeah, I mean, I teach then, so I won't be available to attend any.
We have multiple opportunities for you to participate.
Okay.
The Friday ones for sure are recorded, and you can join in that way as well.
Okay.
Why I'm teaching? I'm supposed to be
No.
No.
You can go back and get it afterwards.
She said it was recorded.
Yeah, it's recorded, and
And then that'll count towards the.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah, we'll make sure. Yeah, definitely. We wouldn't ask you to sit in on something and not have it count for you. Definitely. Any other questions or comments or concerns?
The dev course that we
Yes.
make, we can take that with us?
Of course, you will always have access to that. And many people use that dev course that they start. You won't create a whole course through this workshop. You will just be doing a few components of it. But many people use that, go ahead and take that dev course and create their whole course and then copy it over into their live course. And if you've worked in Blackboard as far as copying over, Canvas copying over a course is much, much easier. It's very, very easy.
And within the modules, we'll be going over those elements that we won't be developing in the course, we will have a working knowledge of then.
Absolutely. We provide you with the pedagogical perspective on what you need, plus resources for where to go for more information, definitely. And we're always here for you, always here for you. By virtue of the fact that you are now part of the CEL community of practice, you are welcome. These doors, well, it's closed right now, but these doors are always open for you, definitely.
Jake, I think it's helpful to use the eCert course kind of as a model in designing your own course. Some of the pieces won't necessarily be spoken specifically about, but noticing like the to-do list and the layout and stuff like that be a pretty helpful prototype for your course to be able to build out from that. eCert covers kind of the underpinnings of a course, like the course essentials, the assessment plan, the blueprint, like the big pieces to get your course kind of in shape. And then you kind of design around those big pieces. So I've seen eCert kind of like as a model to start, like a springboard to develop your own course using this as kind of a template to follow.
And if you've worked at all with the CEL through Blackboard, you know that we developed a template and we put that template in. When we set up your dev course, it will be set up with that template, with the modules and the components within the modules, so that essentially building your own course will be drag and drop, cut and paste, whichever, however you want to do it. Okay, good questions. Thank you. I can see the wheels turning. I can see the wheels
One
turning.
other thing I wanted to add, I know that a lot of, in the past, a lot of participants have had how questions, like how do I attach a file? How do I make this PDF pop out or whatever the case is? A lot of those things we won't necessarily cover inside of the workshop. But that's why we're available on Mondays, Fridays, by appointment. We can sit with you and talk to you about really fully developing your course. That is absolutely what we do.
Mm-hmm.
The workshop, because it's a larger course, it's harder to get into the nuts and bolts in that course, but the facilitators as well as the other IDs are 100% here to sit with you and show you, what you need to do in order to make it work. And in the last few weeks that I sat with faculty, they come in with like a laundry list of stuff and leave in 25 minutes because they're like, oh, it's okay. Well, let me pack up and get out of here because I don't need you anymore, which is really kind of cool because in Blackboard, it was a little bit more clicks. In Canvas, it's kind of more upfront, which I appreciate, and I think you guys will too.
But the whole intent of this workshop is to give you the pedagogical foundation for the why. Why do we do things the way we do, and what's going to be the best opportunities to serve my students, because we're teachers. That's what it's all about. It may or may not necessarily connect with the numbers things that we have to do, but as far as I'm concerned, the student success is the bottom line number. Okay, questions? Anything else? Anybody online with any? John, go ahead.
It says here to do and complete before Unit 1, meet your professor. Is that you?
What are you looking at?
The syllabus for this workshop.
Okay. All right.
Well, we're the facilitators. We would act as that.
Yeah.
And that really is the template. If you're looking at the syllabus, we would roll out to you guys inside the workshop a syllabus template, and that's where you guys would put your information inside of the class. I think you'll see inside of the Start Your page on the eCert page, it'll say meet your facilitators, and that's where our pictures are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also going to be a place, like an empty template, to show you where you will put your information.
And we have the workshop syllabus will be in your Canvas workshop, and then the syllabus template you'll actually get in Unit 7 when we wrap it all up by saying, oh yes, and here's what you need to do to build your syllabus for it.
I have a question. If nobody's in the class yet, where does the syllabus come from?
I got an invitation from Instructional to my inbox.
Okay.
I'll be able to click get started, and this is what's
So
I got the PowerPoint already.
Yeah, and that's coming up next, is for everyone to access it, because I put everyone in there at some point.
Okay.
You've probably already received an email invitation, and now I'm getting ready to go over the course up for you. So here's, yes.
Will we have the information, the PowerPoint that you just sent, that you just showed with the, that's why you have
the schedule?
This is, I will let you take one of these and pass them around. This is the information about what's coming up within the modules in the course. This PowerPoint, I believe we typically post this PowerPoint as well, so that you have the access to the information. This was this one is, I already talked about that, the professional development. And again, because of who we are, our PD sessions are a focus on pedagogical perspective of what we're doing, the why of what we're doing. You can find the how to push the buttons almost anywhere, but what we want to focus on is the why.
Rosemary, did you have a question?
Yes.
Well, we'll just, I'm sure we'll get to this with the syllabus, but is there sort of a template for the syllabus in that there's a certain part that every single online course should have this exact thing, and that gets updated probably every semester? So I've used it, but I just imagine that there might be something that gets updated every semester.
We've just finished
You can always make sure that we have the latest.
Yeah, we recently spent a good bit of time looking
bet.
at things that needed to be changed and tweaked in that. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. And we make that available to you. The template with information for how what you need for your online course, where you just actually can just go in and fill in the details of who you are, what your course is, and the course numbers, and all of that. So
And then that gets updated probably, when it needs to be updated.
Yeah.
If there's something like we went to
Absolutely.
SAS, so we know that,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. We
So
had to
in other
go
words, if
through
we're taking it from your website, we know we have the latest version, whether or not it's been recent.
And Brian, you had someone online has a question?
Yeah, Vicky was asking if her PD rolls over from last semester.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not that you don't want to keep coming, but yes, the PD sessions that you've already attended will count toward your milestones for this, of course. Definitely.
Kathy was saying our syllabus needs to be updated. She's working on it right now. Nursing has its own database that you
Okay.
can only use for our syllabus.
Yeah, and so we will need to address that because we've got quite a few people from nursing in here this time. So you will need to know, in fact, many colleges have their own specific requirements and templates. So essentially what you will do is take what we have as the syllabus template that we offer you with specifics about the technology part of it, and then drop that into whatever you have to use with your college or vice versa, however it works out easier for you. Definitely. Questions, anything else? Good comments. Thank you. So, welcome to Canvas. That's the link for it, and let me go open it up so that you can get there. Okay. Well, let me just show this first, and then I'll do student view to see what you can see. Right now, what you will be able to see is the start here information and the first module. Thank you. So this is what, at this point, from the instructor or facilitator's perspective, the whole thing looks like. And it goes down through module 7. So each one of those will have the components in it that I put in this worksheet for you. Thank you. Student view. And so there it is for you as what you can see from the student view. Now it is there. Okay, so there you are, and you should be able to get into it now. And as I mentioned on the slide, you should have received an email inviting you to the course, and you need to, when you go into Canvas, you need to accept that invitation, and then you will, what you're seeing up here is exactly what you will see there. Okay. So now, does that help?
The modules inside, are they still rolling out, Judy?
Well, it's only module 1 active at the moment.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They roll out based on they're adaptively released. So they should roll out once a week. Usually they roll out every Monday or Tuesday.
With the exception of Unit 3. Unit 3 is a 2-week unit because there's a little bit more, it's a little more involved. You had a question, John? No, that was it. If you're going to open them all, or
yeah,
no, we'll open them sequentially throughout the session.
And do we have meetings here? I had a lost period. I had a student finishing a test, and then I ran over and stopped watching it online to come here.
That's absolutely fine.
But I don't know if you addressed that when I was in transit from my office.
This is the only time that we invite you to meet here. We are always available to you whenever you want to come in. We have open labs on Monday and Friday, and when I get back into the PowerPoint, you'll see that on there. We have open labs on Monday and Friday, and you can meet with any of us at any time. This is the only one that we actually say we'd like for you to be here or online at this point in time. And that said, we have plenty that are not, that will go through the orientation with them individually. So if you want to go back and do make up on what you might have missed, that's fine. We're happy for that.
I mean, it was probably only about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's okay. You're good. You're good. Yes.
So you're saying that we should wait for every week for the budget to show?
You'll
and
get-
then we go there and then we go there.
Yeah,
that's exactly
you will get you'll get an announcement, and I can actually show you what all's in. So there's what it looks like when you click into Module 1 on academic identity. There's an introduction, and what you're seeing here as the format for the module is exactly the format that you will see, the template you will see for each one of the modules. Started to say unit, for each one of the modules as you go through. And they will all look the same way. And we do that by design for consistency so that students are not lost in the navigation in the process. So we'll see the objectives, we give you a to-do list, we have readings, we have videos, assignments, and conclusion. And you will see that format for each one of the units. Julie.
Jake just asked an awesome question.
Good.
He's got his phone out here and he said, is there a mobile app? One of the big reasons
Yes.
why the faculty and students chose Canvas was because it's so mobile friendly. So your students will be able to access through an app on their phone. They can take a good part of a course just on an iPad. Canvas was designed to be, light so that it doesn't take a long time to download things onto your phone or a lot of data to download it onto your iPad or your Android tablet or any of those. But they're a new company. They're a young company. They've only been around, I think this version has been around 6 years or so. Blackboard's been around for a long time, right? So that has some legacy stuff that weighs it down a little bit. They built this one knowing that students use mobile devices in order to take their courses. So yeah, you'll be able to look at this on your phone, which is a great way to sort of keep up with what's going on in the class, or you can do it on your iPad if you're just sitting at Starbucks and you want to do the work in here or read some of the stuff. You'll be able to use the mobile devices. And that's a good way actually for you to see what the student experience is going to be for those as well. You leaving us?
I have one.
Okay. Thank you for coming, John. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And yeah, that's an excellent question. Jake has had some really good input in here today. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. We, we're excited about this, and as you can see, we're all navigating our way through it right along with you. So you need to, once you go in, accept the invitation to the course, and then go take a look around and see what it looks like.
Can I have one more thing, Judy?
Sure.
Did you have something else you wanted to go to?
No, I think I just had a wrap up, but I'm not sure.
Okay. So I just wanted to say, Jill and John both mentioned Quality Matters, and that may sound like I don't know what they're talking about. And I just wanted to kind of give you like a foundation of what that is. Quality Matters is a national organization that was put together by professionals in the field, by faculty, by instructional designers, and all of that kind of thing. Years ago, I think 11 or 12 years ago, to address, we're all doing this online thing. Who's looking at it to say this is a good way to teach online? So they kind of brought everybody together in a community, just as a volunteer, to put together, so if we had this perfect online course, what would it look like? And they brainstormed out a rubric. And so over the last 10 or 11 years, they every year come together and look at that rubric again and again and again, and have compiled these standards that are, obviously completely voluntary standards, but what they do is offer faculty who want to put their courses through this process a certification. So it becomes a national certification. It's very highly thought of, and we are Quality Matters University. So why do you need to know that now? You haven't built your online course yet, because all of that is what you'll find in your course. Everything that we do here, including the syllabus template, all of those modules that Allyson was just showing you, all of this stuff, we didn't just think it up and say, hey, this is a good idea because, Center for E-Learning says so. We're following the Quality Matters standards. So everything that you see in there, we put in there, it's very intentional to meet all of the standards. And you can Google the Quality Matters standards, you'll see what their rubric looks like. So it includes a very, yeah, oh, it is in the course.
It's in the course,
yeah,
in the workshop.
So it's very comprehensive in terms of the structure, the navigation, the student experience through the course, that they have standards for that. It also addresses things like accessibility. They're very big on making sure that all students in your class can take it. And so we try to adhere to that too. It talks about, the teacher presence and the assessments and alignment and objectives, which is going to be Unit 3, Judy, 2.
Unit 3 is objectives in the blueprint.
Yeah, so that one is going to that's why we're giving you 2 weeks for that one. That one can weigh you down a little bit if that's not how you design your classes yet. It's very important in terms of, Quality Matters and the national standards. They won't even look at a course to review it if the objectives and assessments aren't aligned. So that's their most important thing, and then everything flows from there. So just know that, John has already gotten a course, maybe 2 Quality Matters certified. It's something that we offer here. It's a really neat thing to be able to do. You build a course, usually with us. You teach that course at least once. The other side of that, you might be ready for a Quality Matters, right?
Yes, I was just thinking about that.
At the other side of that, you'll come back together with an instructional designer. We'll look at it, through sort of, a really honed in lens of the Quality Matters standards. Make sure that you've got it all put together, and then we will pay for your course to be Quality Matters certified. It costs $1,000 to have them certify it. It's basically just because they have 3 professionals. One of them will be a subject matter expert in your field. 2 of them will be experienced faculty for teaching online. 3 of them will come together. They'll look at your course, they'll confer with each other, and then give you feedback. It's not really a pass or fail. It's a very collegial thing of suggestions that lead to you getting certified. Once you're certified, we pay you $1,000 for having been certified. Judy is an outside Quality Matters reviewer as well, so she looks at courses from outside of our university and helps other faculty do that. So I think that also you guys are benefiting from the fact that Judy looks at courses around the country from a lot of different universities. So she brings a good body of knowledge of those Quality Matters standards, which really are kind of the benchmark nationally for, I go to the conference most years, and I haven't seen another so bought into rubric. It's really well thought of. So, that's what you'll see in this course.
It's fairly recently updated. So maybe we can let Samantha wrap up this session for us.
Yeah. So, do you want to say?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Samantha Uribe, and I work in the College of Education.
Put her on pause for a minute. This is Samantha Uribe, and she has been through the eCertification workshop. She has also done an e-design through our, through the Center for E-Learning. And she was about not quite halfway through the e-design process when the Canvas pilot possibility opened up. Samantha, decided, if I'm going to do it, I may as well jump in. So she is teaching right now, or would be here to share with you, but she created a video just to share with you and give you a little bit of a perspective from her point of view.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Samantha Uribe, and I work in the College of Education as an instructor of TESOL and bilingual education. I am sorry I'm not there with you today. I'm actually in class with students, but I wanted to just record a quick video and just share a little bit about my experiences when I was enrolled in eCertification last spring, as well as my experience with eDesign and the transition from Blackboard to Canvas. So as I mentioned, I work in the College of Education, so the whole concept of having to create this course blueprint and kind of work backwards in terms of what are your assessments, what are your objectives, and then planning my instruction based on that wasn't new to me. It was something that I was pretty familiar with. And when I joined eCertification, I was actually already teaching online. When I joined the faculty of FAU, the College of Education, last fall, I was thrown into an online course. So I was able to use a shell that had been created by one of my colleagues and then modify it to make it my own. So when I was enrolled in eCertification, I was already teaching online. So I had a little bit of experience with that. But it was a really great experience to be enrolled in the course. And my favorite part was really having the opportunity to collaborate with faculty from across the university, because we so rarely have an opportunity to do that. And generally, we are working with colleagues that are within our college or even just within our department. So it was really exciting to get to learn and to really think about this whole concept of creating the course blueprint and, you know, teaching content online in areas outside of education. Because again, for me, it's really second nature to that whole process. So what I really learned the most was some different resources that were out there, how to increase my collaboration with my students, and making myself present within the course, and different ways to be able to do that and to really build that classroom community even though you're in that online setting. So that was really helpful for me, and learning what colleagues across the university were doing in their courses. So I was creating a course after I completed the eCertification, a course that had never been online before in my department, had been being taught face-to-face for a long time, but no one had ever put it online. So my department chair asked me to put the course online, and it's TSL 4081, which is TESOL issues and practices, and it includes a 12-hour field experience for pre-service teachers that they have to go into a classroom. And it teaches them all about strategies about how to work with English language learners. So in my face-to-face course, I use a lot of hands-on activity, a lot of collaboration, a lot of group discussion, a lot of case studies. So I was really nervous about what that was going to look like in the online setting, and how I was going to take myself out of the picture and, you know, put it all on the students. So that was definitely a big challenge, and the experience of having to really focus in on those objectives and make sure that each week my assessments were directly tied to that was challenging, but was a really great experience for me as an educator. So in the midst of planning for this course, going through the e-design process with Judy Summers, who is an amazing instructional designer, and I thank her for everything, because she was so helpful, along with the rest of the group there in e-learning, very helpful and great resources. But in the midst of beginning to plan for my course and get this course online for the fall, we heard about this pilot of Canvas. So I said, why am I going to go through e-design in Blackboard only to have it transferred over to Canvas the next semester? So I was fortunate enough to be included in the Canvas pilot, and kind of halfway through the summer, really in July, decided this is going to go in Canvas instead of Blackboard. So that added another layer of, a little bit of difficulty, kind of kept us on our toes the whole time. But I'm really liking Canvas so far. I'm finding that it's very user-friendly, it's very clean cut, and it's very intuitive, and a lot of the features are very easy to find. It's easy to update, it's easy to send out content. It's very date oriented, between the syllabus page and the assignments page. All the due dates are there for the students, so there's really not a lot of opportunities for them to miss work, and that's one of the things that I like. But like anything, there's a learning curve. So between myself and my students getting used to this new learning management system, there's definitely a few roadblocks that I'm sure are going to come up, but so far so good. It's just a matter of learning how Canvas is set up compared to Blackboard, and being able to make that work for us and for our students and keep everything organized. So I just want to show you what my course looks like in student view so that you can have an idea. And I'm sure that any courses that you're going to be creating in Canvas, I wish you luck, and if there's anything that I can do to help, please let me know. I'm involved in the pilot, and I'm really enjoying having that opportunity to do that. And I'm working in Canvas and Blackboard this semester, so that's also interesting to really kind of compare the two learning management systems. Okay, so now you can see what my course looks like in Canvas, and I just want to show you a couple of features that I really like about Canvas. I like this to-do list, that it gives a summary of what's due. I also love that you have the option to do video announcements, which is really cool. So you could see here on this one, I just created a video announcement of myself, just giving my students an update about something. So that's a really cool feature in Canvas. I also love this syllabus page. As I mentioned before, it's very date-driven and it's very organized. So here the students have a list of all their due dates, so you don't have to create a paper syllabus anymore. You can put it in, and then it actually goes right to the class calendar, which makes it really easy for students to follow as well. And then also one other thing that I haven't tried out yet, but I'm planning to soon, is that you can also record audio feedback in the gradebook. So I think that's really important for certain assignments when you're giving detailed feedback to your students. It's helpful to have that audio feature. So I'm really looking forward to trying that actually this week when my students turn in work. And also you have the modules, which would be the equivalent of the learning units in Blackboard, and everything is here for the students. We have a content page with all the objectives, the to-do list, and then also my lecture videos that I record using Screencast-O-Matic, which is actually the tool that I'm using now, which is also something that I learned about during eCertification. So that's a great way to video record lectures, and they upload to my YouTube channel. So again, I'm really enjoying using Canvas so far, and I'm really glad that I decided to do my e-design in Canvas, because now everything is there for me, and I can learn the program, and I can also tweak it as needed. So I wish you the best of luck in your e-certification journey. And if you ever need anything, they can provide my information, and I'd be happy to help. As I mentioned, I'm in the College of Education, so writing learning objectives and things like that, is something that we work on all the time. So good luck, and I'll see you around campus. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that gives us kind of a nice wrap up. Yeah, I don't have my clicker, but you want to. Yeah, so here's the expectations. We want you to stay connected. As I said, you do not have to, it does not have to be face-to-face, but we do encourage you to stay connected with us. Once you get into the course, you will see all of our emails, access. Any of us will respond to any of them, and then within the next 10 days to 2 weeks, you will receive an email from one of us saying we're going to break the group down so that we connect, each one of us connects with 5, 6, 7 of you to help keep you going. So we want you to stay connected. We have open labs available for you. There's emails, and again, they're also in the course. You can connect with us multitude of ways. I still don't have my. I'll get it. Okay, so here's our responsibilities for you. We are having open lab every Friday from 8 to 5. We also have it on Monday from 8 to 5. So you're welcome to drop in. All the instructional designers are available to you on those times for anything having to do with the workshop, having to do with Canvas, whatever your needs are, we will help you with it. At least happy to do with online teaching anyway. We will review the course blueprint with you when you get into Unit 3. We will set up and structure your Canvas sandbox, your DEV course for you, and then we're available to you for individual consults. So I guess bottom line is we want you to know we're here for you. And so we're asking you to commit to completing the units in the workshop, provide your own expertise. We can help you build a course what you have to offer is totally unique, and we don't have access to that. It's your own subject matter expertise, and I was fascinated to hear all the different fields that we have in here. I want to talk more about the anthropology piece of it. I think that sounds fascinating. I love the idea. Ever since I've worked with Rosemary, I've been wanting to go back and review my French, so I'm going to do it, Rosemary, I promise. So what you bring to the table is truly, truly unique for us, for working with you on your course, but also for interacting among the workshop with the other people, because you have your own background, your own experiences, your knowledge and your wisdom, and that really is what's going to make it work for everybody. And so we also ask you to make appointments with us, come in and see us whenever. Is that my, oh, okay, so that was it. Thank you.